All right. I'm here because the internet been acting a fool over this Emma Greede stuff. Y'all been acting a fool over this Emma Greede stuff. And I have to add context to how this is a PR masterclass and marketing masterclass. So we're just going to jump straight into it. There were 3 controversies that happened over the course of this book launch. Mind you, as of today's date, she is a New York Times bestseller. And yes, I read the book entirely. I have the book. I will show you the book at some point. So number 1, Emma Greede said that she was a 3-hour mom. Internet erupted. Y'all was mad. Okay. Number 2, Emma Greede said that she passed on a black-owned brand, Ami Colé. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And then that brand closed. So y'all mad about that? Internet erupted again. 3, Emma Greede said that work from home is career suicide for women. Internet erupted again. Mad about that. That's 3 eruptions for one book, and every eruption drove sales to the book. It's a bestseller, y'all. Do we think this is a coincidence? Was that really a coincidence? And I'm gonna break it down to you, because whether you agree or not, this was a masterclass. You do not have to agree. I don't always agree with everything. This video really isn't about my opinions. This video is for me to show you the business behind this. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, I have tried to record this video 3 times, so I'm off the wake. We about to try this again because I'm going to get this video out. So I feel like before we talk about like the controversies, there's so much context that I feel like people didn't really like look into it. They got so mad about what she said and then go do no research. So let's set the stage for who is Emma Greede. Okay, let's set the stage. Oh, my camera slides. Great. Let me make sure this is paused. I don't want it to move on. Let me get mad. All right, great. Cool. So Emma grew up in East London. So see, this what I'm talking about. This what I'm talking about. I said don't. I said just move. Okay. All right. I might not edit this out because I'm getting this video done. Cool. Boom. Emma grew up in East London. From her words, East London is the hood. East London is where all we live. All the people that like us, where we live. She went over there with the Queen. She went over there with Lizzie and Diana and them. She didn't live over there. She lived over here. So this is why I picked this picture. I always picked this picture of this graffiti. Okay? Look at this. Go look up East London on like a Google map. Cool. So she also was the eldest of 4 daughters here. And her mom was a single mom. Her mom is white. Her biological father is Trinidadian, but her stepfather is Jamaican. So they keep calling her Jamaican. She like, I'm Trinidadian. My stepdaddy is Jamaican. So she has a very diverse background. But she black, y'all. She black. Cool. She talks about in the book about how being the eldest daughter of 4, she was very parentified. So her mom had to work all the time. So she was at home really raising her sisters. And I could tell she has a lot of anger and resentment towards that because she had dreams and aspirations of her own. But I think it laid the foundation for her to be the entrepreneur that she is. So, boom, she does that. Now she has these big dreams. I want to be in the fashion industry. I want to be in the fashion industry. I don't care what I got to do. I'm finna be in the fashion industry. So she tries to go to fashion school. She not a good student. She's dyslexic. She don't figure that out 2 years later. School ain't for her. And it's expensive. And she can't pay for it. Because again, mom is a single mom. So she drops out of fashion school. Then she just starts emailing people like, since I don't have any experience, I will work for free. Just let me work. I just want to be in the fashion industry. I just want to figure out like how this all works. And I'll make my moves from there. I just need to figure some things out. So she ends up working for this fashion production company that puts on fashion shows. So she there, and she people like 1 + 1 = 2. Mind you, she an intern for free, all these places. And she's realizing that like the fashion shows, they're these expensive productions, but they're not profitable. Like they put out money, but they're not gaining money. So she starts wanting to do deals with brands. So getting brands to sponsor the fashion shows less money on the fashion shows, and then brand visibility for the brands. So she starts doing those type of deals, like for the fashion brands, right? The fashion production company, they ain't shit. Real toxic work environment. Boom, 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 boom. She wants to go off on her own. She's like, I ain't got time for this. I'm paraphrasing because read the book. She's like, I'm about to go off on my own. I can start my own thing. I don't got time for this. Very so much like myself. Worked at a marketing. I was a marketing director. That was playing. That's okay. I can do this for myself. You ain't even got to worry about it. So she goes off on her own to like start her own agency. Now, the rhetoric that her husband put her on, it's not true in the way that they're trying to say it. Like they're like, she don't talk about having a white husband and yada yada yada. The white husband does play a part, but she wasn't given like a freebie like people think. Side note, I want to go on a little tangent real quick. There's something called outliers. It is a concept by Malcolm Gladwell. It's an entire book where basically says there's specific outliers, these instances, these experiences that lead you to be successful. You're not just randomly successful. Bill Gates became Bill Gates because he had an outlier being one of the only schools in America that had access to the computer before everybody else, and he could like work on it years before everybody else really was like messing with computers. An outlier. Same thing here. Her outlier is that she was working in the fashion industry. She was already doing these deals. So she was doing that on her own, trying to just figure it out. Boom. She meets her husband through a friend. And like, that ain't her man yet. They just like work colleagues. So she go to him like, look, I'm trying to start this company. Can y'all help? Like, can y'all invest? Like, I need some money to start it. They were already buying companies, like marketing agencies. So they're like, all right, yeah, we're gonna fuck with you. We're gonna give you, you can come. We already have the infrastructure. You can build it like it's yours, but you gotta go build that whole thing on your own. We ain't like build it. She's killing it. She's killing it. She's killing it. And that was her career, was building up this thing right here. 26, she co-founds. And when I say co-founded, she co-founded it. And she didn't co-found it just with the husband. He had a partner too. So it's another man named Eric. It ain't just the husband. She co-founds this agency called ITB. It's a London-based talent management entertainment marketing agency, like I said, like I just told you. And she got to build that up. 10 years later, it's acquired by Rogers and Cohen for an undisclosed amount that Emma has never disclosed, and she exits the company. But she's like, it's not life-changing money. It was a good amount, but it wasn't life-changing money. So I still got to figure something out. And mind you, she already has the experience of doing the brand deals and connecting talent and ideas to a product. Boom. Now what is said is that she meets Kris Jenner at a fashion show, Paris Fashion Week, which is not abnormal. That's what she's in the fashion industry. So of course she's at a fashion show. And she like, I got this idea for a denim brand for Chloe. I think it would be great. Kris obviously is always trying to find ways to grow the Kardashian empire. And of course, all the Kardashians are expected to have brands. So she's like, I'm gonna fuck with you. So I think that was like in 2015, and they stood up Good American in 2016. She don't know nothing about jeans. She just knew that she had to like make something shake, and this was her only opportunity. So they start the company. Chloe is the face. Emma is running the business from how she's explaining it. Something going on with these two. Something going on with these two right now. I don't know what's going on. But that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Right now, everything's good. Cool. Good American, their unique selling proposition, USP, is we have a diversity of size runs in all the styles. Because back then, plus size was not available in every size and every fit. They were solving all these issues. Like, you know how you get a gap in the back of your jeans? Their jeans don't do that. High quality. Boom, 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 boom. There's a really good YouTube video on like the rise and fall of a Good American. Oh my God, it's impeccable. Oh, it's impeccable. And basically, I'm gonna link it in my description. Basically, they're like, diversity was their unique selling proposition, and that's not good because they were only popping because they were selling diversity. Now, when everybody else starts selling diversity, why should we buy from you, right? So I think that like Good American is going through some changes, but whatever. It was still profitable. Sold out $1 million in 10 minutes. $100 million in sales. Like, they cool. So then she's like, well, I had success with one sister. Let's move on to another sister. She already in, right? So Kim, Kim wanted to start a shapewear brand. It was gonna be called Kimono until the Asian community was like, girl, don't play with us. Don't play with us. You're not naming nothing. Kimono, nothing. So they had to go back to the drawing board and end up naming it Skims. Mind you, she already got $100 million with the other sister. She's like, I got this. This time, she does bring the husband involved into the brand. I believe the husband gets involved with Skims because Skims has some very innovative fabric. They think about fabric, and it's like some innovation there. I would do a video on Skims. Maybe I'll do a video on Good American. I don't know, but anyway. So she brings him into this one because she like, we trying to go even bigger than we did with Good American. Good American was like her college, right? That was like her baby brand to figure things out. She like, we worked out the kinks. Skims, we taking this to the top. So they are all three partners. Now here's the interesting thing. The husband is the CEO of Skims. They all are co-founders. He runs the company. She runs products. So she's the one that like thinks of the products and is working on the products. Kim, I think, is the face and gives her ideas. I think she's like face and marketing. But they all run the business together. Now, mind you, you've seen what Skims has become. Skims has become a $1 billion brand. Also think, just like to mention, there's a lot of Kanye in these colorways and some of all this, but we ain't gonna talk about that. But anyway, Skims is very, 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 very successful. So this is where the husband come into play. Now we're caught up. This is what she does, right? She's still actively the chief product officer of Skims as it stands today. They also run the company together. Cool. Now, then Emma, that girl now. Emma popping. You know what I'm saying? Emma done proved that she her, right? So she then becomes the first black woman to ever guest on Shark Tank. Because it'd be Mark, forget her name, I love her. Him, Kevin, something. He was in a movie. What movie was he in? Marty Supreme. Yeah, I think. Anyway, she's on first black woman on Shark Tank. And she's Emma really good at what she knows what she's talking about. I think it's her tone, but we're gonna talk about that. So boom, she does that. Why see this is what I'm talking about? Why we hold on. We gotta go back. They be playing with me too much. Now, outside, all right, we back. Now, she's also the chairwoman of the 15% Pledge, which is a U.S.-based nonprofit organization that encourages retailers to pledge 50% of their shelf space to Black-owned businesses. So, her friend Aurora, she started. She's come on over as a chairwoman. Makes perfect sense. So it's like they're saying, like, out of all the people, all the vendors that, let's say, Target has, 15% of them need to be from Black people. So this whole little narrative that she don't care about Black people and she don't understand Black people's plight, it's a U.S.-based nonprofit. All right? So she's fighting for shelf space and big retailers for Black-owned businesses, Black American businesses in the U.S. So this whole narrative that she not for Black people or Black women or whatever don't make sense. And I'm not saying that that's not an opinion. We have facts for real. We have facts. But again, I digress. So, boom, she done did all that. Bet. She popping. I believe that Emma stayed in the background for years. No one, they knew that was ran by another woman, but she wasn't like a personal brand in her own light, right? And she said that the reason why she started being more like out there is because she realized that she was becoming the face of like female entrepreneurship, and she like, I don't cap. Ain't no cap in my rap. Ain't no rap in my cap. Whatever. You know what I meant. Y'all not about to put me on this pedestal and make me seem like this is glamorous I'm finna start being more vocal and telling y'all the business. I believe this is where the book comes into place because she has all of these. Because here's the thing, she has all these things. She's a businesswoman. She's saying all these concepts. She's going on all these shows. This is well before the book come out, but she don't really have something rooted in her philosophy or framework of life. Usually at that point when you become a thought leader or have a unique opinion, you need to write a book to own that IP, intellectual property. So intellectual property is her original ideas. So I think after so long, she like, I've created a narrative. I'm known for something. In order for me to own, I need to turn this into an intellectual property and really like stand on business on what I believe in. This is where the book comes into play. It was released on April 14th, y'all. It's only May 5th. It's May 5th. It's May 5th. That shows you the power of this rollout and what she was doing. You know what I'm saying? Cool. Now, another thing that I like about what she did with this brand is that she launches the book, and then she like, we going on a book tour. We going on a book tour. Because Emma still has to like get her name out there. Like the public conscious is just now being aware of Emma. So she still has to like get her name out there and like show people and connect and talk. Mind you, she's been in the industry forever, so she got these big, big names. Charlamagne the guy right here. Yeah, I don't know why I can't see him. Martha, I like Martha. I got a million reasons why I like Martha. Don't come for me in my Martha take. I don't care if she went to jail. I think it was cap. It was wrong. Let me not get started on Martha. Martha's a whole other video. So she go on book tour. Like, I'm going to go on tour with this book. Very, very, very smart. Very smart. It's so freaking smart. Cool. Now, the PR strategy. The PR strategy. Let's talk about that. Cool. You pause this right here. Okay. So, this is where it gets interesting. And I'm glad I'm using my little Canva thing because I got this little, what is this? A pointer? Yeah. She drops it. I wonder. No, okay. I don't want to mess with it. It's going to fuck my shit up. So this is April 1st. She drops that she's writing a book on her own podcast. Now, mind you, Emma came up with this podcast. The podcast is amazing, right? She made this podcast. And I'm really trying to just present the facts. And I'm like, I do like Emma, and I do like the things that she says. But like, I don't know. I'm not a hater. I'm just not a hater. And I look at everything biasly. So just take that with a grain of salt when you're hearing the rhetoric that's coming through when I'm talking. I'm just not a hater. I respect game. I respect game. Boom. So she come out on her podcast, Aspire with Emma. She like, y'all, I'm dropping a book. I'm dropping a book. Then boom. Now mind you, look up here. Blue is TV. I ain't even explain this. Blue is TV. Green is live tour stops. Red is the controversy moments. These light green moments are podcasts and YouTube. And then this white is print and digital press. This is a freaking stacked. Oh my God. When the last time you see somebody launch a book like this? When? You tell me. Harry Potter? When? Look at this. I launch a book. My shit gonna be just like this. And the reason why I say that is the intentionality of understanding where attention is. You guys know I am a student of Gary Vee. Gary Vee's philosophy is day trading attention. And that means being where the attention is and putting your own spin on where the attention is. If everybody talking about sharks, is it authentic for you to talk about sharks? If it is, put yourself in a conversation on sharks so you can garner that attention to make it work for your business. Cool. So this is just impeccable. She launches it on the podcast. Then she go to LA with Rachel Zoe, Aurora from the 15 Pledge, and some other people. I can't read them names. Oh, Nicole Avant. Her dad is Clarence, who is like the godfather of Hollywood. I think so. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He had a show on Netflix. Not a Netflix, a documentary. It's really good. And they murdered him. They murdered the wife. Okay, I'm getting off topic. It's crazy. Yeah, them people. So she has this book launch in LA. And she also dropped a freaking vlog of behind the scenes of this whole thing. So another thing, as we continue to go through this, as this is going on, she's dropping behind the scenes vlogs of the response and the backlash in real time. What? So she's not running from nothing, which I think is a lot of people's problem. But anyway, cool. That's the book launch. Then, as she does the book launch, controversy number 1 comes out. Yeah, because wait, I'm trying to... Okay. Yep. Controversy number 1 comes out where the Wall Street Journal leans in and basically is like, first of all, the Wall Street Journal called her Kardashian whisperer, which I think is very like sarcastic, but I mean, it ain't... She is a Kardashian whisperer, but it's like, that's what you choose to say. I feel like they were trying to be funny, but it's like, it's not wrong. You know, she is, or whatever. But they basically drop a profile saying she's a 3-hour work mom. That goes viral. Like, that goes viral. Everybody's like, oh my God, you only spent 3 hours with your kids. She goes on, I'm trying to make sure. She goes on the Today Show and doubles down on that. That's coming. Boom. Controversy number 1. Oh my God, Emma Greede's 3-hour work mom, yada, yada, yada. Viral. She getting the attention of the Wall Street Journal. She's getting the attention of social media. The next controversy comes when she goes... First of all, she goes on a Keke Palmer... In the Black community, she goes on a Keke Palmer podcast and says, work from home is career suicide. Mind you, she having all of these greens. She doing tour dates through all of this. She goes on Good Morning America. She goes on the Today Show, and she doubles down on being her 3-hour mom comments. But she's also on YouTube. So just think about this. You're getting articles, Wall Street Journal, Elle Magazine, LA Times, Fortune, Yahoo, Entrepreneur, Newsweek. That's big legacy media. They talking about Emma. Then you hearing it directly from Emma on YouTube. Should have been on everybody's podcast. You're hearing that. And that's going on at the same time, which is media stacking, right? Then she's going on what you would call TV networks or legacy media. She's going on Good Morning America. And they like, the Today Show, like, girl, they said you was 3-hour mom. Basically, like, you can, like, defend yourself. She like, I said what I said. Think about it. Like, really think about it. I work all the time. I do give my kids 3 hours of undivided attention. I got my views on that. This ain't the place for that. We're talking about the business and marketing of it all. Cool. So that's happening. And then, on top of that, she's having the live shows. So she's getting to speak to her audience and double down on it. Like, she knew what she was doing. And in the last episode of the vlog, she like, I would be scared if nobody was talking. She ain't worried about nothing. She ain't worried about nothing. So boom, that goes on. Internet is pissed off about the work. They pissed off. They're judging her for 3-hour mom comments, but they pissed off about the work from home comments, which we're going to get to that a little bit more. Then news and media, live events, press. Now we get to this moment. She goes on the She's So Lucky podcast. I really love her. Les Alfred, I think is the founder's name. Please subscribe to She's So Lucky podcast. I really want to see her win. She goes on there and she basically is like, I wasn't going to invest into Ami Colé because it wasn't extraordinary enough. Oh, they pissed again. Because it's like, you a black woman, why wouldn't you invest in another black woman? Pissed again. Another show, another TV thing, digital media. Do you see this? I didn't even get into the social media strategy. I could have did a 2-part video on this. So that's why it feels like you saw Emma everywhere, because you did. You did. TV, live, controversy moments, podcast, and print. It's like, what? She really thought this through. Like, she really thought it through. Okay, so we're going to dive in more onto the controversies and kind of like why it was going to bring all of this rhetoric. So you saw the graphic on the last slide. And so, but this was the moment that kicked off talking about the book. So she had the launch, which was creating buzz. She said it on the podcast, but we got to get people talking. The Kardashian whisperer who says 3 hours with their kids is enough. I think this is very, I think they're just being assholes. Like, do you guys tell this to men? And I think that's her point, that people are so busy at the 3 hour mom part that they're not missing the bigger thing is why they make this article to begin with. But let's go look and see what she actually said. You see what I'm saying? Like, she's not walking this back because this is her truth. And I think that if you're watching this objectively, you're like, but why? Where did she get this from? Which is result you to buying the book. All of this has gotten people to go buy the book. And another thing that I think that we're forgetting when it as it relates to these comments and Emma in general is that these are just her opinions. Um, she's not God. She's just giving you her opinion of what worked for her. You literally can take what works, leave what don't. So this was the first one that got people talking, got it going viral. Oh, the moms was mad. Everybody was mad. Everybody was mad. Everybody was mad. Now let's go to the second one. The second one was about how Emma had the opportunity to invest in her brand, Ami Colé, in the early round. So it wasn't even like, I think another reason that the way I don't like how they're positioning it, they're positioning like she could have invested, like if Emma would have gave her the money, she wouldn't have closed down. That ain't what happened. She was saying, when you were pitching the brand, it came across my desk, and she basically was like, I didn't think it was that extraordinary. She said it on a She's So Lucky podcast. If you watched her conversation with Ami Colé, you will understand a little bit more as to why it happened. Now, mind you, she's fighting up against a lot of systemic barriers as a Black woman founder. So it's not like, oh, she should have just tried hard. No, I'm not saying that. But the way they're positioning Emma in this conversation is she could have saved the brand and didn't because she didn't give her an investment. If you're looking at this from a business point of view and what we just talked about, unique selling proposition, just how I just got done basically not criticizing but providing feedback that good American without the push of being diverse really don't got a unique selling proposition, or they're struggling to articulate it. Maybe they do and they just are struggling to articulate it. Same thing with Ami Colé. I think she probably had a unique selling proposition, but couldn't find a way to articulate it so that it connected and could do what it was supposed to do. But in addition to that, if you watch this, if you did your homework and watched this video, there was a lot of structural background things that she was fighting up against, which is what led to it failing. So, but again, this made her go viral again because it basically talked about how the Ami Colé connected to a larger conversation about capital access for like Black owned brands. And that really upset people, but I think it was taken out of context because, again, I don't think they took time to really watch this interview, understand the moment that she could have invested or whatever. But either way, she benefited from it. Now, the third controversy was work for home is career suicide. And I'm like, oh, now these people are mad because the workforce home comment like assumes structural access that most of her audience doesn't have. I'm gonna be real with you. I think Emma's one of those like figure it the fuck out. Like figure it the fuck out. Like I really think that's what she's saying. That's like the top of it. But I also think it's like figure it the fuck out. And here are the ways you can actually figure it the fuck out. Cause I did. Now, some are saying that like pretty privilege and access to the husband, yada yada yada, plays a part in that. But again, let's go look at what she actually said. So again, another thing that I think the reason why, because I don't want the video to be like start controversy so people can talk about it. No, the reason why it worked is because she doubled down on what she said and she's living what she's saying. A lot of times when people give like hot takes, they're not living what they say they're doing, right? She's doubling down on this. I think Emma has seen the facts, and I think that some of this is like we get emotional about injustices. Now, mind you, we should. They're wrong. I think Emma's one of those type of people where she's like, it's fucked up. Ain't nothing I can do about it being fucked up. I got to figure out my way to work around it. Now, I do believe that when there's a will, there's a way. So take that for what you will. So I think that's what it is. I don't even think she was even thinking about like the access part of it and all of that. In addition to that, Emma is from London. She's not a Black American woman. And some people were like, were providing criticism like, y'all are saying she wasn't talking to us, but she was talking to us because she went on Keke Palmer. I think that she's trying to raise the bar for ambition for women and to come into these other audiences and make sure she's represented there to anybody that wants to go out there and get it. Not everybody is going to like this type of take because this type of take can only be received by somebody that has accepted the journey of entrepreneurship, the unfairness of entrepreneurship, how hard it is, the sacrifices that you have to make. I do not believe that if you want to live a soft life and like do all of that, Emma not for you. She's not. She's for the extremely ambitious woman that wants to make it no matter what. They're not giving any light to the obvious issues because they're going to figure it out on spiritual level. They don't figure it the fuck out. So I think that's what it is. But again, she benefited from both. She benefited from all three of these examples. So like again, let me just show you the rhetoric. There was a lot of it, and here's the thing about social media. It's interest based. It's not social based anymore like it used to be. So whatever you're consuming is what you're gonna see. So if you don't like Emma, you saw more things saying fuck Emma. If you like her, you saw more of a balanced view of it. So, oh, Emma is pissing these girls off. Two things. I'm seeing that no one is challenging her in these interviews, and I believe she's speaking to a specific subset of people. I find it weird that Emma doesn't acknowledge or talk about how mixed race British women gets into rooms African American women aren't able to. So you see, like, people are mad at Emma for saying you should work from work in office and be visible for career mobility. She not lying. Like, and maybe that's it. Maybe it's the fact that we know this is true and we're upset about that. That's valid though. But villainizing her benefited her. Let's just say it benefited her. It benefited her. She found her audience. The overly ambitious woman was like, hell yeah. And she benefited from the negative backlash. So we got to understand how rhetoric works, how opinions work, and how rhetoric works on social media. All of it attributed to her becoming a New York Times bestseller. So let's talk about what can we learn from Emma Greede in everything that we talked about, right? Here's 5 PR moves that I've extracted based on what I saw. Controversy isn't the opposite of brand building. It could be the fastest path to relevance. So number 1, lead with a polarizing truth, not a safe take. Safe content gets polite engagement. Polarizing content gets shared, debated, and covered. I saw someone say, like, once you're decided you're going to make a post, before you post it and give your take, be like, so what? And if you cannot argue the so what of why you're posting it, you probably don't have a polarizing take. And again, this only applies to people that are comfortable saying polarizing truths. If you don't want to say a polarizing truth, this shit ain't for you, right? But I agree. I think polarizing content is the first way. If you think about Gary Vee and his idea of like post everywhere 5 times a day, that's polarizing content because people don't want to do that shit. So second, choose media that reaches different audiences simultaneously. This is called media stacking. The Wall Street Journal, business credibility. The Breakfast Club, cultural reach. The Today Show, mass mainstream. 3 different rooms, same message, 3 separate news cycles. And fucking impeccable. This is exactly how it's supposed to be done. If you have a book, you have a product, I recommend doing the exact same thing. And if you have a good publicist, this should be your strategy. Number 3, never walking back. Double down, keeping the story alive. Stand on business. I think if she would have walked it back, it would have fucked up her launch, right? Every time she reaffirmed her position, journalists had a new angle. The story stayed in the news cycle for weeks instead of days. Again, she needs people talking about the book. And I forget what the rules are, so do not quote me, but I think like from the time that it goes on pre-sale to the time you launch, all of those pre-sales count towards your opening day numbers. I think it's like music. So she needs people buying a freaking book so she can place her rank. And she wanted to debut at number 1. I think she debuted at number 2, but she was really, really close. So yeah, like, stand on business. Stand on business. But again, if you decide you're going to have a polarizing take, standing on business ain't going to be hard because you already decided to make the polarizing take. Number 4, let controversy be the headline so the product becomes the answer. Nobody searches Emma Greede book. They search Emma Greede 3-Hour Mom. The book appears in every article. Controversy is the funnel. It's exactly what she used. And I think it's very self-aware of her to use that because she don't have the like, let's all get along, and like she don't even got that personality. Like, soft life, that's not her personality. So she really leaned into what would be authentic to her. She wasn't going to be able to come across any other type of way because that's just not who she is, right? And number 5, release hot takes in waves, not all at once. 3 separate controversies, 3 separate cycles. If they all dropped day 1, it would have been one story spaced out, but spaced out, it became a month-long launch. So again, one country, boom. The second one, it was like, once we got over one, she just said some more shit. Once, you see what I'm saying? And it was all strategic, and it all led to you buying this. Now, I bought the book day 1. Like when it came out, I was the only one there was only one copy at Barnes & Noble, and I was the one that got it. Because I've been following her work for a long time, and I admire what she's been able to accomplish. But for other people, these controversies, these different medias all needed to happen because they didn't know who she was. Now, here's some takeaways. Have a real point of view. Number 1, have a real point of view, not a safe one. What do you actually believe in about your industry that might make some people uncomfortable? That is your content. If you want to get followers and get people talking to you the most, have a real point of view. That is the fastest way to cut through the noise. The fastest way to cut through the noise. Second, pitch different media for different audiences. If you're trying to reach multiple communities, one outlet won't do it. Who covers your city? Who covers your industry? Who covers your culture? Making a list and pitch to all three. So if you live in Cincinnati, who cover your city? I need to get on Cincinnati podcast, Cincinnati news. Who covers your industry? I'm in marketing. What are the marketing podcasts? I need to get over there. Who covers your culture? I'm Black and Puerto Rican, so I need to get on Black business podcasts and I need to get on Latino business podcasts. That will give me a diversified view, audience stack, so that I'm reaching all the audiences that I want to reach. And lastly, number 3, understand who your advice is actually for. It's supposed to say for, but I really do say for, but it's supposed to say for. Anyway, Emma's most valid criticism is that her advice assumes structural access most people don't have. That's what they mad about the most. Is like, you're assuming this shit is easy, bitch. It's not. That's kind of what they're trying to say. When you give advice, name who it's for. This works if you have X. That honesty builds more trust than pretending that playing the field is. God damn it, my dyslexia. Pretending the playing field is level, right? So I think that's the but I don't think she could have she could have been like, this advice is for a highly ambitious women. But then I think that would have not made it as wide, and then she could have used the controversy to her advantage. But for you, if you don't want to have the criticism that she's having of like, you're assuming structural access to people that ain't got it, then you need to be like, this advice is for the specific group that it's for, so you don't run into the problem that Emma has run into, even though we can tell she don't care. Okay, guys, and so that is the end of this case study. Like, I've basically taken you through who Emma is. I walked you through her entire media rollout, broke down all the levels. We went more into depthly into each controversy so you can see why people were talking about it. Then I pulled out 5 frameworks that you can start to add to your strategy if the way that Emma wrote out her content aligns with you. So Emma says start with yourself, and I'm saying you just start with a point of view. For me, and as you can see, my dynamic personality, this would be an aligned personality because I have a bunch of hot takes that will come out, and I'm going to say, no, but you're not going to give me the welcome back because they're my lived experience. And I think that's also a thing. This is her lived experience, and I think you should just take that with a grain of salt. So, if you are ready to share your bold takes and stand on business, I think this is a great PR and marketing strategy that you can use to launch a business, launch a product, whatever. Please like, share, and subscribe. I also subscribe to my newsletter. It's called Trail Notes. I send it out weekly, and it's just about what's going on in marketing, my latest case study, case studies like this, and more information to help you win. I do this stuff because I want to make it easy. They make business complicated so that you don't understand and that you can't make money. I'm here to take the complex things, make them easy, show you what's actually happening so you can double down and do it all for free on this here YouTube channel. So climb your mountain, reach your ocean. I wish you guys nothing but success. I'm rooting for you, and I'll see you in the next video.